Chapter 1904. Dominating the World. Sounds great. Lin Ling nodded. The celestial demon overlord physique was originally an emperor physique and possessed the emperor's aura. Hence, its defense was extremely strong. With the addition of the golden providence, the celestial demon overlord physique's defense would be even stronger. In fact, when Lin Ling fought with others, it seemed like he had fewer laws, but he could still win. The celestial demon overlord physique was a great help as its defense was too strong and could resist certain laws. In addition to his powerful physical body, he could also break through laws with brute force. However, these advantages could not be seen on the surface. Lin Ling hurriedly took the golden ball of light and was just about to refine it when Elder Z reminded, "Your Majesty, why didn't you consume the triple cycle grand immortal pill that you obtained with your merit points? Could it be that your Majesty is afraid of the side effects of the triple cycle grand immortal pill?" Two people had consumed the 3 Revolution Supreme immortal pill before. One of them had exploded and died, while the other had become a cripple. Hence, no one had ever exchanged for it. Lin Ling smiled. "Elder Z, this is a pill used for cultivation in the martial god realm. Of course, it can't be consumed alone. It has to be combined with the 5-wood heaven-shattering liquid." "I see. This must be Li Xiaoyao's memory. No wonder no one in this world could succeed. This time, I also bought a large amount of materials for the 5-wood heaven-shattering liquid to forge the spiritual liquid." With Elder Z's reminder, Lin Ling began to forge the spiritual liquid. After 3 months, he began to consume the 3 Revolution Supreme immortal pill. At the same time, he began to refine the Golden Emperor horoscope. The Golden Emperor horoscope contained the Emperor's aura. With providence, Lin Ling's ancient divine emperor physique became even more condensed. His eyes were majestic, as if a King Kong had descended. The terrifying thing was that not only was the ancient divine emperor physique domineering and majestic, but it also had the aura of the emperor, noble and mighty. The last stage, dominating the world. Looking at the golden ancient divine emperor physique, Elder Z was so excited that his mouth was wide open. Tears welled up in his eyes. The former #1 emperor of the star-picking nation had finally returned to the world. Battling the heavens and earth, there was nothing he did not fight. Dominating the world. This was the last stage. The Purple Mansion Realm's World Rumble. After an unknown amount of time, an unparalleled domineering aura erupted, causing the entire space to tremble. The ancient god emperor appeared like a giant, his head touching the sky and his feet stepping on the ground. Roar! At this moment, Lin Ling also roared towards the sky. His long hair suddenly turned golden, and so did his pupils. An aura of supremacy bloomed from his body. Who else but me? At this moment, his battle intent was boiling. It was as if he would even dare to fight against the firmament realm. He punched out, and 20 universes of power erupted. Without using the dragon claw, he was able to erupt with 20 universes of power. And when the fist reached its peak, 100-dimensional space appeared, forming space cracks around Lin Ling, like a thunder pool. "Genesis," Lin Ling said softly. The 9th tier of the world annihilation physique possessed the power to annihilate the world. The 10th tier of the world domination physique was the creation of the world. It was as if he was saying that he was the master of his world. "Peerless divine sword." Lin Ling roared angrily once again. With his sword in hand, he revealed his sharpness. "I am the master, who dares to not obey." The aura of the world domination physique also affected Lin Ling, making him feel as if he was the master of the world. "Genesis," Lin Ling slashed out with his sword, and actually activated all the spatial laws of the world domination physique, forming a total of 200 laws of power, and fiercely slashed forward. Rumble! The Purple Mansion was split open by the sword. Seeing this, Elder Z sucked in a breath of cold air. This was the world domination physique. After a long time, Lin Ling's golden pupils slowly disappeared. His eyes also regained their calmness, but his face was filled with shock. So strong. Really strong. The peak of the divine devil overlord physique was really the world domination physique. Right now, the talent of the divine devil overlord physique had also reached the 2nd grade of the divine rank. Haha. Lin Ling couldn't help but laugh towards the sky. That long-lost feeling was once again approaching. After experiencing his blood and sweat, the feeling of dominating the world had returned. I've broken through and reached Wusheng Stage 5. After that, Lin Ling's expression changed again. It seemed that the triple revolution Taihong Immortal Pill had taken effect, allowing him to smoothly step into a new realm. Moreover, he sensed that the power in his Dantian had not ended, and the void energy source was still rotating. The triple revolution Taihong Immortal Pill could allow the user to undergo 3 revolutions. Why isn't there any effect? Lin Ling frowned again. Your Majesty, the first revolution of the void energy source is the most difficult. Many CND experts even gave up on the first revolution and wanted to step into Wusheng Stage 6. That's because if the first revolution failed, the consequences would be unimaginable. Therefore, even if your Majesty swallowed the pill, there wouldn't be an immediate effect. Elder Z guessed. Lin Ling nodded. That was indeed the case. After all, only those with great perseverance could succeed in the first revolution. This meant that the first revolution was difficult, so he could only wait. If I succeed in the third revolution, then after I step into Wusheng Stage 6, every time my void energy source becomes stronger, I'll be able to increase the power of 30 laws. Yes, this was the benefit of the first revolution. Not only would he accumulate the previous laws, but he would also be able to increase the power of laws by 1 realm. This meant that if Lin Ling succeeded in the third revolution, he would definitely be the strongest in the same realm. The Yellow Springs flame has finally stabilized at the 2nd grade of the divine rank. However, the Yellow Springs flame can still be improved. If I cultivate the 6 paths of reincarnation, this flame will definitely improve. Yes, Lin Ling said again. However, he had not succeeded in the third revolution. Therefore, he did not cultivate the 6 paths of reincarnation for the time being. Next, Lin Ling stabilized his cultivation and left the Purple Mansion. Not long after, Taoist also came to visit Lin Ling. After seeing Lin Ling break through, he could not help but be surprised. This was because when others cultivated, breaking through to the next realm would take a few years. However, Lin Ling succeeded in a short period of time. It was as if there was no bottleneck at all. Most importantly, Taoist sensed that not only did Lin Ling break through to the next realm, his strength seemed to have increased by more than 1-fold. At this speed, Lin Ling, you will soon catch up with me. Taoist looked at Lin Ling and laughed. There were so many geniuses in the mortal world. The only one he could not see through was Lin Ling. I was just lucky. Lin Ling shook his head modestly. However, his every move was filled with confidence. The 9th stage of dominating the world gave him a domineering aura. By the way, little flame, have the Fire Spirit Princess and the others returned? Lin Ling pondered for a moment and asked. Not long ago, he entered the Sky Cloud Forest to complete a mission. However, Little Flame and the others went to another secret realm to complete a mission. They have not returned yet. However, I will calculate for you. Taoist frowned. He took out a tortoiseshell and calculated. Then his expression changed slightly. Lin Ling could not help but ask, what happened? I calculated that they will all face a calamity. Taoist shook his head and said, however, their lives are not in danger at the moment. However, this calamity can be big or small. If it continues to develop, then they will all die. Hearing this, Lin Ling's expression changed dramatically. Taoist was a prophet of the mortal world. Lin Ling naturally believed his words. I will go to the Rainforest Sacred Land to take a look. Their secret realm mission has already ended. However, they have not come to True Spirit Island. Perhaps they are in the Rainforest Sacred Land. Lin Ling, quickly go and take a look. The Dark Angel is the hero of the mission in the Sky Cloud Forest, and the people of the Purple Alliance have confirmed everything. Above the sky, the experts spoke again, their words carrying endless majesty. Now that the time given to you has passed, for the sake of the human race, all of you will die. As a human, you colluded with the devil race, wanting to turn the human realm into a river of blood and plunge the people into misery and suffering. You scum, what's the use of not dying? Kill. A terrifying killing intent exploded in the sky, causing the earth to tremble. In the distance, Lin Ling tightly clenched his teeth, and his eyes were completely red. He had become a traitor who colluded with the devil race? He and the second on the earth ranking, Yin Yeming, had helped the devil race together? Moreover, the so-called Dark Angel had become that archer from the divine Marquis Manor, distorting right and wrong, inverting right and wrong. He, Lin Ling, had sealed the enchantment in the Sky Cloud Forest, and had also disrupted the archer's plan. Not only did he not contribute, he was a sinner. Cold. An extremely terrifying and cold aura spread out from Lin Ling's body. The clouds in the sky split open, and the wind stopped blowing. Killing intent filled the air. The experts on the ground and in the sky all felt a terrifying coldness drifting over, and it was so cold that it penetrated their hearts. Suddenly, everyone looked at the other side of the sky. A man in a black robe stood there. His long hair fluttered in the wind, and his eyes were cold. An invisible aura of indifference emanated from his body, causing everyone to fall silent. It was too cold, and none of them could withstand it. It was as if they were looking at a god of death, a giant of the mortal world. Sir, who are you?" The experts in the sky all trembled with fear as they stared at Lin Ling. "You all said that the mad god Lin Ling colluded with the devil race, and the Dark Angel from the divine Marquis Manor disrupted his plan. Is this correct?" Lin Ling finally stepped out, and his long hair fluttered in the wind. Plop! Everyone's heart violently jumped. Just by looking at the young man, they felt as if they had fallen into an ice cellar. Yes. This is the order of the mortal world's highest authority. Senior, are you angry at Lin Ling? This Lin Ling really deserves to die. He allowed the devil race to come in. Who knows how many people will die in the hands of the devil race? Lin Ling is too cruel. One of them gritted his teeth and said, "But as far as I know, the mad god Lin Ling has repeatedly helped the mortal world's highest authority, such as the true martial world, and the news of the devil race's invasion. These were all revealed by him. Whether he colluded with the devil race or not, at least he saved many people. Do you all have to kill him?" Lin Ling said softly. His voice was calm, but it gave people the feeling that it was even colder. Senior, you probably don't like mad god Lin Ling, right? I admit that he has indeed made contributions to the human realm's highest deacon palace. However, he is frivolous and lawless. Therefore, he is going to die just because he helped the demon race. No merit can offset that crime. An expert smiled and said. Lin Ling was silent. He stepped forward step by step, but the coldness emitted from his body became even crazier. No one remembered his merit. They only wanted him to die. Even the whole thing didn't seem to be investigated in detail, and Lin Ling was directly sentenced to death. I want to see who can kill me. Lin Ling's anger became even crazier. Finally, those people felt that something was wrong. Someone asked nervously, "Senior, you are?" "I am the mad god Lin Ling, who colluded with the devil race." Lin Ling spat out a sentence. The ancient god emperor descended, dominating the world. He fiercely punched. "When I sealed the Sky Cloud Forest's barrier, where were you? When I was pulled into the devil domain by the devil race's great senior, and almost died, where were you? You didn't do anything. You don't know anything. You only know how to kill people. Die for me." Boom! With a single punch, over 100 experts were reduced to dust. Blood rained down like rain. No one could block that punch of his that could not be stopped. It's called the Black Castle Prison. Boom! After he finished speaking, Lin Ling punched out, then turned around and left. That person stared at Lin Ling and said with a bitter smile, "I said, why do you still want to kill me? I didn't promise not to kill you." Lin Ling's cold voice came from afar, and that person's bitter smile deepened. In the end, his body exploded, turning into endless crystal light and disappeared. "My lord." Lord Shui Wu and the others knelt down at this moment, but their hearts were still shaken. The mortal world was facing a great calamity, and a large number of experts had surfaced. However, their lord was still arrogant. Whoever dared to invade would be killed without mercy. Lin Ling nodded, and his cold eyes looked into the distance as he analyzed what those people said before. First, Lin Ling was sure that he wasn't the only one who was slandered. Because of the invasion of the devil race, the giants of the mortal world used this opportunity to eliminate dissidents, and he, Lin Ling, was only one of them. As for the people who wanted to eliminate Lin Ling, it wasn't difficult to guess. It should be the Sky Lord, the Xianyuan clan, and the ancient Ji clan. Of course, there might be other experts who wanted to kill Lin Ling, but these three forces couldn't escape being related. Second, why were they so sure that Lin Ling colluded with the devil race? Because the most dazzling figure in the Sky Cloud Forest was the Angel of the Night, but no one knew the identity of the Angel of the Night. So, someone impersonated the Angel of the Night, and used the name of the Angel of the Night to eliminate dissidents. Lin Ling constantly thought about it, and he had a general understanding of the situation. Unfortunately, those people who wanted to harm him didn't know that the Angel of the Night was Lin Ling himself. As he thought of this, the flames of rage in Lin Ling's heart surged. Using the calamity of the mortal world to eliminate dissidents, those giants of the mortal world had a good plan. Chapter 1907, Black Castle Prison Rumble. However, at this moment, the clouds in the sky were torn apart, and a huge dragon turtle battleship arrived in a mighty manner. Many warriors in the Xianhuang Big Domain also noticed it, and their faces changed. What a mighty battleship! What is it doing here? However, what surprised everyone was that the battleship was charging towards the Black Castle in an unbridled and lawless manner. Stop! This is the human world's prison. How dare you behave so atrociously here? Are you crazy? The prison guards were shocked. A young man in his 20s shouted angrily. He was the son of Emperor Jin Niu, and one of the guards of the Black Castle prison. Activate the array. The young man waved his hand coldly. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The black bricks in the Black Castle shone brightly and formed black light arrows that shot into the sky. These black arrows were the Black Castle prison's defensive measures. At that moment, tens of thousands of arrows were fired at the same time. It was a shocking scene. Is the owner of the Dragon Turtle battleship stupid? Why can't he talk things out? Why must he barge into the prison? Sigh, what a pity. The crowd in the distance stared at the majestic scene in the sky and shook their heads. They saw that the sky had already turned black, densely packed with arrows. As for the Black Castle prison, the prison guards were laughing. The young man in the lead had a cold look in his eyes. He waved his hand again and wanted the Black Castle prison to stop shooting arrows. However, at that moment, another rumbling sound came from the sky. A majestic battleship with a dragon head and a turtle body appeared. It did not slow down and continued charging towards the Black Castle. Nothing happened. What kind of battleship is that? Why is its defense so strong? Everyone was shocked. The young man in the lead had a drastic change in his expression. He waved his hand again and said, "Shoot!" Clang! Clang! Countless arrows were fired again. However, this time, everyone could clearly see how terrifying the Dragon Turtle battleship was. None of the arrows could penetrate the battleship. Instead, they were destroyed after colliding with it. Who are you? The young man in the lead did not dare to underestimate the intruder. Armageddon! At that moment, a terrifying sword radiance slashed out from the Dragon Turtle battleship. It was like the Grim Reaper's blade was telling them that anyone who stood in its way would be killed without mercy. Rumble! 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 A large number of prison guards were cut in half as their blood spilled onto the ground. No one could block that terrifying sword radiance. Crazy! A large number of people in the distance sucked in a breath of cold air. The mortal world prison was backed by the highest deacon palace in the mortal world. How dare someone kill a prison guard? He was too arrogant. The expression of the leader of the prison guards changed drastically. He turned his head and saw that more than half of the prison guards beside him had been killed or injured. If he had not reacted quickly and pulled several people beside him to be his scapegoats, he would have been killed by the sword. The strength of the person who came was very strong. He stared at the sky and saw a black-robed young man standing coldly at the head of the Dragon Turtle battleship. He was tall and slender and had delicate features. However, his eyes were cold and emotionless. The coldness in his eyes could penetrate one's heart. Killing God. A terrifying thought appeared in the young man's mind. Suddenly, he He felt that the young man was very familiar, as if he had seen him not long ago. But where exactly was he? It's in the Devil Prison Mountain Range. Your mad god Lin Ling. Finally, the young man let out a terrified voice. Because of his shock, his voice was not soft. Many experts in the distance heard it, and were all stunned. Mad god Lin Ling. It was mad god Lin Ling again. Because the person who had caused havoc in the mortal world prison, in the Devil Prison Mountain Range, was mad god Lin Ling. Today, the person who caused havoc in the Black Castle prison was mad god Lin Ling again. Could it be that his arrogance had reached the point of lawlessness? Mad god Lin Ling, how dare you? The young man immediately roared. But what answered him was a sword that would decide his life. The sword light passed through him, and his head was separated from his body. Almost at the same time, the huge dragon turtle battleship slammed into the Black Castle prison. After a rumble, the prison that had just been built collapsed. Awesome! My friend was wrongly accused and imprisoned without any reason. Now that mad god Lin Ling has broken through the prison, he is very popular. That's right. The giants of the mortal world are ambitious. They want to become existences that surpass myths. So they are eliminating dissidents to gain more prestige. That's right. Most importantly, although they have wronged others, they have also fabricated evidence. Those experts who have been wronged have suffered unspeakable hardships. That's right. Mad god Lin Ling continued to be lawless. In the distance, many onlookers were excited. In a world dominated by experts, there was a need for a new force to emerge, and that person, they hoped to be mad god Lin Ling. At this moment, in the basement of the Black Castle prison, painful cries could be heard from time to time. A large number of people were tied to the wall. Their wrists were shackled with powerful divine weapons. Once they were shackled, no spiritual energy could be recovered. No matter how strong they were in the past, they could only be prisoners now. Pa, pa, pa. Several prison guards held iron whips and whipped the prisoners fiercely. With every whip, thunder and fire bloomed. Ehe! How did the former Great Yuan prison emperor become a prisoner today? The prison guards sneered. Those who were beaten could not resist at all. Following the line of sight, there was a man in his 40s sitting on a chair in the dimly lit hall. He was completely naked. This was the expert guarding the Black Castle prison, Great Emperor Jin Neo. In my prison everyone is a slave. Even if you were the mentor of the three great myths C&D, in the past, you will still have to worship me as your king. A low voice came from Great Emperor Jin Neo's mouth. Beside him, several beautiful and naked women were massaging him, making him look satisfied. Despicable. The mortal world prison is for prisoners. We are not guilty. Why are you imprisoning us? Suddenly a clear voice came. Among the prisoners, a beautiful woman stared at Great Emperor Jin Neo and said, Hehe, it seems like you don't understand. In my prison, everyone is a slave. Great Emperor Jin Neo laughed. He stood up and waved his right hand. A powerful force came out and brought the person who spoke over. Whoosh! Then, Great Emperor Jin Neo let out a violent roar and tore the woman's clothes, revealing a large area of snow-white skin. Without waiting for the woman to cry out, Great Emperor Jin Neo pressed down on her, making her cry out in pain. What was more terrifying was that the woman's talent and cultivation were slowly being absorbed by Great Emperor Jin Neo. Seeing this, the prisoners who were tied up in the hall trembled. They had long heard that Great Emperor Jin Neo was cruel and ruthless. Today they saw that it was true. Falling into his hands was a fate worse than death. Haha, Hongyan Xiandi, the sect leader of the Sunset Three Clouds sect. You are as beautiful as a fairy. Today, you have become my slave. Your cultivation is mine. Let me tell you, this is just the beginning. Great Emperor Jin Neo was still pressing down on the woman as he laughed wildly. I beg you, let me go. Chapter 1908. Crippled Great Emperor Neo Jin kicked the woman away and swept his gaze across the remaining prisoners. Everyone lowered their heads in fear of being targeted by Great Emperor Neo Jin. Especially the women, their bodies were trembling non-stop. Fire Spirit Princess, your talent is not bad. I have long been attracted to you. Come, I will let you enjoy the best time in the human world. Great Emperor Neo Jin's eyes finally landed on a lively girl. She was the fire spirit princess. Who in the human world didn't know about the beauty of the fire spirit princess? Moreover, her talent was not bad. If he could absorb her talent, his strength would increase greatly. Great Emperor Nyo Jin's talent was extremely mysterious. He had the first-grade divine Nyo Yang heavenly root. He could pluck yin to nourish yang. All these years, he had ravaged many girls. How dare you? At this moment Little Flame, the 9 spirits of heaven, Bai Yin, and Xian Di were also tied up on the wall. All of them roared in anger. Hee, don't be anxious. You will have your chance too. Great Emperor Nyo Jin sneered as if he was talking to his friends. This made Little Flame and the others furious. Just as Great Emperor Nyo Jin was about to attack, the entire basement shook and dust fell from the sky. Rumble. Along with the rumbling, it was as if the Onyx Castle prison had collapsed. Everyone was shocked when they sensed the terrifying tremors. Great Emperor Nyo Jin was furious. Who was ruining his mood? He shouted, "Go and see what happened. Isn't my son Nyo Lan guarding outside?" A prison guard immediately obeyed the order and walked out along the dark corridor. However, just as he walked out of the corridor, he came back and walked backwards. "Who asked you to come back? Can't you hear me?" Great Emperor Golden Ox was even more furious. However, when he turned around, he suddenly saw a black-robed young man slowly walking in. He extended his left hand and actually grabbed the prison guard's cheek. Just like that, he walked in with the prison guard in his hand. The entire process was silent, as if the god of death had arrived. Such a scene was undoubtedly shocking. All the prisoners' expression changed drastically as they stared at the newcomer. Little Flame and the others were overjoyed. "It's Big Brother is here. Bastard." The fire spirit princess also let out an excited cry. Great Emperor Nyo Jin stared at the intruder in astonishment. However, his heart was filled with anger. Who was this person? Why had he barged into his prison? Just as he was about to speak, the young man opposite him spoke first. The so-called human realm prison is actually the dirtiest place in the human realm. These prisoners are cleaner than a scum like you. The young man was Lin Ling. How powerful was his soul force? Even before he entered, he could see what was happening in the basement. This made his anger and killing intent even crazier. Filthy scum. Treating the prisoners like adults and almost attacking the second dream. This was Lin Ling's reverse scale. "Who are you?" "Let me tell you, my backer is the ancient Ji clan." Staring at Lin Ling, Great Emperor Jin Nyo said coldly. Bang! Lin Ling's left hand clenched tightly, and the prison guard's face blossomed like a flower. His head exploded from Lin Ling's grip. "I'm Lin Ling, the mad god." Lin Ling casually threw the corpse away and took a step forward. His aura burst forth like a ruler, dominating the world. Mad god Lin Ling. Hearing this, Great Emperor Jin Nyo's expression changed drastically. He thought that mentioning his backer would be enough to make this young man flee. However, this young man was Lin Ling, an enemy of the ancient Ji clan. This young man wasn't afraid of the ancient Ji clan at all. In fact, in the entire human realm, Mad God Lin Ling was the only person who had challenged the ancient Ji clan and the Xianyuan clan and emerged unscathed. Good timing. Since you're here today, let me see how amazing a human realm genius like you is. Great Emperor Jin Nyo knew that this young man didn't come with good intentions. He immediately unleashed a powerful aura. Since he was able to guard the prison, he naturally wasn't weak. Rumble! A brown demonic bull rushed out from under his crotch. It was as if it could wipe out an entire army. Bang bang bang. The ground cracked open, and the law of collision spewed out. If it was in the outside world, it could destroy a city. Boom. However, when the demonic bull collided with Lin Ling, the ancient god emperor appeared behind Lin Ling. He lifted his foot and stomped forward. With just one stomp, the demonic bull's momentum was suppressed. Lin Ling's foot stepped on the demonic bull's head, immobilizing it. Dominating the world, Lin Ling stretched out his hands and grabbed the two horns of the demonic bull. Then his strength erupted. Swoosh! That terrifying demonic bull was actually torn apart by Lin Ling, split into two. Puffed! Great Emperor Nyo Jin immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. The demonic bull was closely related to his innate talent. Therefore, he was also severely injured at this moment. However, he did not expect Mad God Lin Ling to be so powerful. He was actually able to tear apart his demonic bull law attack. Mystic Turtle's 9 steps. Lin Ling didn't intend to talk too much. He came in front of Great Emperor Jin Nyo and raised his head to look at the burly man. Great Emperor Jin Nyo's body trembled. Although the person in front of him didn't look old, he felt as if he had seen the god of death. Your talent comes from under your crotch. What's the use of such a dirty talent? From now on, I want you to never trample on others. A peerless archery sword appeared in Lin Ling's right hand. He stabbed fiercely and stirred it. Ah! Great Emperor Jin Nyo let out a painful cry. His talent was destroyed, and his manhood was messed up. This kind of pain was undoubtedly more unbearable than killing him. As for the prisoners in the hall, they were all happy. Evil people would be dealt with by evil people. Great Emperor Jin Nyo was a cruel and merciless emperor. But he met Mad God Lin Ling, who was even more ruthless than him. You crippled me. Great Emperor Jin Nyo rolled on the ground and let out a hideous cry. His talent was destroyed. From now on, he couldn't increase his strength anymore. The so-called crippling isn't just your manhood. Lin Ling's eyes were emotionless. He took a step forward and came in front of Great Emperor Jin Nyo. His left hand turned into a claw and grabbed at Great Emperor Jin Nyo's dantian. Then he grabbed a source of void force and crushed it with a bang. The source of void force was the source of power for experts like CND. Now that it was destroyed by Lin Ling, Great Emperor Jin Nyo was like a deflated balloon. All the power he had accumulated in the past disappeared. His burly body suddenly aged and his face was full of wrinkles. And this was the so-called crippling. Crippling a person didn't mean crippling his talent, but crippling his entire body. You. Great Emperor Jin Nyo said with difficulty. Just kill me. If you want a person to remember what pain is, death isn't the best. You want him to live a life worse than death. Lin Ling looked down at Great Emperor Jin Nyo and said coldly, all these years, many people have been ruined by you. They will make you suffer a life worse than death. Hearing this, Great Emperor Jin Nyo's eyes widened. He actually forced himself to get up and kowtowed to Lin Ling. He wanted Lin Ling to kill him with his own hands. Because he was powerless and was captured by those prisoners. His fate was obvious. Men, release all the prisoners in the prison. Lin Ling ignored him and shouted angrily at the hall. Chapter 1909. Rewards according to merit. Mad God Lin Ling. I will never forget your kindness today. Yes. Then, many CND experts bowed to Lin Ling. We were wronged. The giants of the human world wanted to kill us and eliminate the dissidents. Their goal was to become an existence that surpassed the 3 myths and be on equal footing with the master of the martial pavilion. Yes, because we were eliminated, there were fewer voices of opposition. Moreover, the giants of the human world also made great contributions. The prestige was enough for them to rise. Yes, it's the Sky Lord. Yes. Those CND experts continued to speak, their faces full of anger. Hearing those words, Lin Ling's eyes flashed with a cold light. Especially when he saw the Fire Dragon Princess. The killing intent in his heart boiled even more. The Sky Lord, the ancient Ji family and the Xianyuan clan. This time, not only did they kill a large number of experts, but they also framed Lin Ling. This feud was set. No matter who came forward, Lin Ling would not give any face. He would kill these experts in his lifetime. Who will go to the heavenly world with me? Suppressing the killing intent in his heart, Lin Ling glanced at the crowd and said indifferently, Boss, I'll go. Baddie, I'll go too. Little Flame. And the others immediately responded. They wanted to seek justice. The Sky Lord wanted to use them as a stepping stone. They would never allow it. Mad God Lin Ling, will follow you. Many CND experts also shouted. They could not take this lying down. They came from all over the human world. There were people from the Fire Clan, the E Clan, the Supreme Clan and so on. As long as they were against the Sky Lord and the others, they were all wronged. Good. Today, follow me to the Deacon Palace of the human world. Lin Ling nodded and took a big step forward, leading the crowd away. When they came outside, the Dragon Turtle battleship was still there. After everyone boarded the battleship, Lin Ling took out an ancient sword and slashed at the Onyx Castle prison on the ground. Rumble. With this slash, the entire prison collapsed. There's no need to stay in such a dirty place. Then, the dragon turtle battleship flew into the sky. And in the distance, many people became excited. Lin Ling once again destroyed the human prison. He was worthy of being called a martial artist of our generation. He was magnanimous, daring to take responsibility for his actions. Where did they go? It seems like they've killed their way into the Deacon Palace of the human realm. Mad God Lin Ling, you're still mad. Many people started to discuss among themselves. They stepped out and flew towards the sky. They wanted to know the outcome of this matter. They wanted to know if Mad God Lin Ling could bring justice to those who were wrongly accused. At this moment, heavenly earth was like a paradise. There were tall buildings, green mountains, and clear waters. However, a large number of experts had gathered on this vast island. Obviously, the missions issued by the human realm had all been completed. Those human realm experts had all returned and were waiting for the time to reward them. In terms of rewards, as long as one completed the mission, one would be able to obtain a large amount of merit points. Moreover, one would be able to obtain the title of Mortal Realm's Calamity, bringing honor and pride to the entire realm. However, even though there were many strong cultivators in the heavenly earth, it was extremely silent. All sorts of ambitious and ruthless people were sitting there. Some closed their eyes, some whispered to each other. The 7 emperors of the 7 emperors' world were sitting together and frowning. They were thinking about colluding with the demon clan. Ridiculous. Many of my people have colluded with the demon clan. That's ridiculous. But they have proof. It's difficult to refute them. Emperor Li Shou and the others were furious. But they had proof, so they couldn't refute. Of course, Lin Ling was one of those who had been wrongly accused, so they weren't happy. On the side of Champion University, Sun and Yu Wu Shuang looked grim. Even though many people from Champion University had been imprisoned in the human world, there weren't many of them. Therefore, they were wondering if they should help those strong cultivators, or if they should just ignore them. In the end, they chose to wait and see. After all, even though those who had been wrongly accused were from Champion University, they weren't their trusted subordinates. More and more people are coming back, whispered someone at that moment. In the distance, a large number of strong cultivators were coming back. They were all smiling. They had finished their tasks, and were going to get a lot of points. It's the first time I've seen such a grand ceremony. All the strong cultivators of the human world have gathered. Hehe. Brother Qiao Feng is a strong cultivator of the Central Earth list. This time, in the mysterious world of the horizontal cloud forest, the empty world was sealed. You've done a great job. I've heard that everyone's points will be doubled. Sister Wuxia, you're overpraising us. We were just lucky. Among the experts who had rushed back, several figures were talking in low voices. One of them was Princess Wuxia. With her current strength, she naturally couldn't enter the Middle Earth ranking. Therefore, she looked up to the Middle Earth ranking. The most important thing was that Brother Qiao Feng was a strong cultivator of the Central Earth list. He was pursuing her, so she was happy. Furthermore, the Sky Cloud Forest Secret Realm was also one of the most dazzling places in today's rewards. Because among all the void boundaries, there were less than 5 sealed void boundaries, and the Sky Cloud Forest was one of them. Therefore, Brother Qiao Feng was going to be famous, which made her even more proud. By the way, have you seen Crazy God Lin Ling? If I'm not mistaken, he also went to the mysterious world of the horizontal cloud forest. He's a genius from the human world, so he must be dazzling too, said Princess Wuxia suddenly, said the handsome man next to her. He also knew about the tensions between Princess Wuxia and Lin Ling. He smiled and said, there are many strong cultivators in the horizontal cloud forest. The most dazzling one is Lu Susu from the Purple Alliance, and the legendary Dark Angel. As for Lin Ling, I admit that he's a genius from the human world, but unfortunately, he hasn't matured yet. Besides, nobody knows if he'll rise in the future. Therefore, nobody has seen him in the horizontal cloud forest. He's probably just a passerby. Brother Qiao Feng is still the best. At least you've joined the Purple Alliance, because it's an honor to be able to join it. Princess Firecloud suddenly laughed. Her laughter was extremely happy. She was conflicted about Lin Ling. In fact, she admired Lin Ling very much. However, Lin Ling didn't care about her, which made her feel humiliated. Therefore, she subconsciously wanted to see Lin Ling's downfall. Now she finally had the chance. She could also be proud in front of Princess Hualing and tell her that her husband was even more dazzling. Rumble. While the crowd was whispering, the sound of thunder came from the distant sky. A mighty dragon turtle battleship swept through the wind and clouds and arrived majestically. Moreover, on the dragon turtle battleship, there were countless people standing there. For a moment, everyone looked over and was secretly surprised. The people who came were very bold. After all, when it came to rewards, everyone had to keep a low profile. However, they rode the dragon turtle battleship and directly entered the heavenly world. This action was undoubtedly extremely arrogant. Subconsciously, many people looked at the dragon head of the dragon turtle battleship and saw a cold young man with an ancient sword on his back. His aura was domineering. What an arrogant young man. Who is he? Chapter 1910. Arriving at Heavenly Earth was in an uproar. Many people's eyes flickered. Although Lin Ling wasn't the strongest existence in the mortal world, Lin Ling was still a genius of the mortal world. Who didn't know about his arrogance? This Lin Ling the mad god is so arrogant. He dares to ride a battleship in front of the mortal world's giants. Sky Lord, is this the junior who has repeatedly ruined your plans? A voice drifted out from a corner of Heavenly Earth. Many people looked into the distance. These people's auras were extremely powerful. If it was Wang Ruoxian, they would be the giants of the mortal world. Moreover, there were experts from the Saint's great domain here. North Celestial Emperor, Yuansha royal family, Divine Marquis Mansion, countless immortal clans, Ancient Ji family, Xianyuan clan. Every one of them could shake the mortal world with a single move. Haha, he's just a dying ant. Skylord also looked into the distance with cold eyes. It's said that this Lin Ling the mad god is in the secret realm of the Hengyun forest. If I had known, I would have let Cripple kill him. A man from the Divine Marquis Mansion laughed. No matter. He's colluding with the demon race. With the Dark Angel as his witness, he won't be able to escape death. Skylord waved his hand. He didn't care at all. In his opinion, Lin Ling was just a passerby in the Hengyun forest. He wasn't qualified to shine at all. Am I right, Dark Angel? Then, the Sky Lord looked at the silent youth behind him. This youth wore a mask and a black robe. He was none other than the Angel of the Night. Sky Lord is right. In the Hengyun forest, I'm the hero. No one will doubt anything I say. The youth replied faintly. However, he stared at Lin Ling and felt that he had seen him somewhere before. Especially that pair of eyes. He felt even more familiar. Of course, he quickly shook his head. Mad God Lin Ling was just an ant. If he knew that the youth in front of him was the Dark Angel who fought with him, he wouldn't dare to underestimate Lin Ling. Unfortunately, only Lu Susu and a few others knew about the identity of the Angel of the Night. That was why this young man dared to replace Lin Ling. Rumble. The battleships in the sky were getting closer and closer. However, many experts of the earthly paradise revealed gloating smiles, because they knew that Lin Ling had colluded with the devil race. Therefore Lin Ling still dared to come. Could it be that he had come to throw away his life? Junior sister Wuxia, is he mad god Lin Ling? That's all there is to it. Watch me teach him a lesson for you, said Qiao Feng indifferently. It seemed as if he wanted to solve the demon in Princess Wuxia's heart. His body was filled with thick battle intent. No, there are too many big shots right now. Princess Firecloud shook her head. Hee, I heard that Lin Ling has colluded with the demon race, so no one will object to me taking action. On the contrary, everyone will approve of my actions. You should take a good look at how lowly that so-called Lin Ling is. Qiao Feng stepped out and went toward the dragon turtle battleship. Seeing this, Princess Wuxia did not stop him. In fact, she was also looking forward to the scene of Lin Ling being humiliated. Now her man was going to defeat Lin Ling. That was the best. Mad God Lin Ling, you are so lawless. You came to the earthly paradise but you are so rude. Do you dare to fight with me? Xiao Feng appeared in the sky, and then shouted loudly. Countless eyes were looking at him. Many people were looking forward to it. After the trip to the mystery land, many people's strength had increased greatly. They did not know whether the former genius of the earthly paradise, Lin Ling, had also improved his strength. Xiao Feng, an expert of the first rank Wuxia, was also one of the geniuses of the earthly paradise with 100 principles. However, he was not as dazzling as Lin Ling. However, under Xiao Feng's voice, the dragon turtle battleship still moved forward. All the people on the battleship were silent. Lin Ling, you don't dare to speak. No. Seeing this scene, many people shook their heads and said, Mad God Lin Ling was arrogant. If someone provoked him, he would not be afraid of a fight. Now that he was silent, it must be that he admitted his strength was inferior to the opponent. Haha, Mad God Lin Ling, you don't deserve your reputation. Stop and fight with me. Xiao Feng shouted again. He seemed to have noticed Princess Wuxia's admiring eyes, so he was in high spirits at this moment. Mad God Lin Ling, if you have the ability, fight with senior brother Xiao Feng. In the crowd, Xiao Feng's friends also shouted loudly. Their voices were like waves, which finally attracted the attention of the people on the dragon turtle battleship. Brother, let me. The 9 spirits of heaven stared at Xiao Feng indifferently. Their fighting spirit was also boiling. Lin Ling shook his head and said indifferently, I don't see an ant blocking the way. Does such an idiotic ant want to be valued by the whole earthly paradise? Boom. This voice was not soft, which made the hearts of everyone in the earthly paradise explode. Previously, they thought that Lin Ling did not dare to fight. Who knew that Lin Ling would only see Xiao Feng now? This also showed that Xiao Feng was an ant on the roadside. Lin Ling did not dare to show any interest in him, and did not even bother to look at him. Lin Ling, stop the battleship and fight with me. Xiao Feng's face became cold. He noticed Lin Ling's naked disdain. Why should I stop? Lin Ling said slowly. Your dragon turtle battleship's defense is so strong. If you don't stop the battleship, how can you fight? You want to use the battleship to fight me. So won't I be at a disadvantage? Xiao Feng said coldly, which made Lin Ling laugh. He did not know where Xiao Feng's confidence came from. However, if he did not drive away this fly, it would be troublesome. He simply stepped out of the battleship and said, I know that many people want to see a good show, but since I dared to come, I have never thought of leaving. If you want to fight, then come. That's right. Without the battleship, we will have a fair fight. Let the experts of the earthly paradise see how powerful you, the so-called genius of the earthly paradise, is. Green Tornado Fist. Xiao Feng wanted to prove himself. With a punch, all the power of law erupted and formed a huge storm. The so-called genius is not the same. In the past, you were a genius. But in the future, when others get an opportunity, they can also surpass the genius. I, Xiao Feng, followed the Purple Union to fight in the Sky Cloud Forest, and killed countless devils. I have already left you far behind. Everyone's blood boiled when they heard this. That's right, a genius is not the same. Xiao Feng will definitely defeat Lin Ling. Sky Lord and the other experts smiled faintly. In fact, although Lin Ling participated in the birthday celebration of Jade Lake Heavenly Mother, they were not clear about Lin Ling's strength. So they also wanted to see if Lin Ling's strength had improved. Worthy of being senior brother Xiao Feng. Looking at the terrifying storm in the sky, Princess Wuxia clenched her fists in excitement. She even saw Princess Hualing on the dragon turtle battleship. So, she was proud at this moment. She believed that from today onwards, Princess Hualing would not be able to be arrogant in front of her. Under countless gazes, it was as if Lin Ling did not know how powerful the attacks of 100 precepts were. He actually stood quietly in the sky, not moving at all. This action undoubtedly caused many people to hiss. Lin Ling's strength was not weak. If he had fought back, no one would have been surprised. But he was just standing there without moving. This made people unable to guess. Could it be that Lin Ling was unable to react? Chapter 1911. Condemning Lin Ling Rumble. Astral wind swept Lin Ling, and Lin Ling disappeared from the sky. Seeing this, Heavenly World was silent. The gap in strength was too big. Lin Ling was defeated in one move. Xiao Feng was also stunned for a moment. He didn't expect to get rid of Lin Ling so easily. He couldn't help but laugh. He looked at Heavenly World and said, "Sirs, you won't blame me for killing Lin Ling, right? It doesn't matter. He is currently colluding with the devil race. He is a sinner. Killing him is not only a crime, but also a reward of merit points." A voice drifted out from Heavenly World. Xiao Feng finally laughed. His face was indifferent, as if he had obtained endless glory. Good, good, good. That's great. Princess Wuxia was also relieved. This was the husband she had imagined. He defeated Lin Ling in front of countless people. It was as if he was stepping on colorful clouds to proudly marry her. Princess Wuxia, this is the Lin Ling in your eyes. Xiao Feng sensed Princess Wuxia's joy. He turned around and said with a faint smile. Princess Wuxia nodded heavily. She was just about to say something, but her pupils constricted. She pointed at the person in front of Xiao Feng and couldn't say anything. At this moment, astral wind was still sweeping, but a golden light appeared. Then a handsome man stepped out of the wind. He didn't make any move, but he seemed to have torn apart the terrifying storm law. I have already walked out of the battleship. That's because I don't want to take advantage of you. But your full strength, is that all? An indifferent voice drifted out at the same time. Xiao Feng's body trembled. He quietly turned around. The one standing in front of him was Lin Ling. Lin Ling was fine. He was actually fine after being hit by the storm with all his power of law. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ignore you. I just didn't want to waste time. But you pestered me for this battle, so I will accompany you. But you have disappointed me. Lin Ling sighed softly, but he didn't make a move. Instead, he walked past Xiao Feng. His golden eyes glanced at Xiao Feng, causing Xiao Feng's entire body, heart, and even blood to tremble. Tianzi, this was the might of the Son of Heaven. It wasn't until Lin Ling walked past him that he asked with bloodshot eyes. Why didn't you attack me? Because you're no match for me, Lin Ling said without even looking at him. His words were calm, but they were filled with boundless dominance and confidence. You're not my match. The endless echoes were like thunder, causing everyone's hearts to explode. They couldn't believe their eyes. However, they looked at Xiao Feng with anticipation. They thought that Xiao Feng wouldn't give up so easily. However, they were surprised. Xiao Feng stood there trembling and didn't dare to move. He seemed to have lost the will to fight. No one had expected this result, because Xiao Feng had stepped out. They all thought that Xiao Feng would win, and at the very least, he would fight 300 rounds with Lin Ling. However, Lin Ling only said a few words and Xiao Feng was defeated. It was no wonder that Lin Ling chose to ignore him, because the facts had proven that Xiao Feng was too weak. His full-strength attack couldn't affect Lin Ling at all. On the other hand, Lin Ling only said a few words and a glance, and Xiao Feng didn't dare to fight anymore. How could this be? Princess Wuxia looked at Xiao Feng, and then at the young man who looked like an emperor. Her lips turned pale. Lin Ling was a passerby in Sky Cloud Forest. No one had heard of him. Xiao Feng had joined the Purple Alliance and followed the Dark Knight Angel. His strength had greatly increased, and his name had shaken the world. But now, a passerby had defeated Xiao Feng with just a few words. This is impossible. Princess Wuxia's faith crumbled once again. Lin Ling, even if he had hidden himself from the world for a year, his pride still existed. He was still someone that she, Princess Wuxia, had to look up to. Rumble. At this time, the Dragon Turtle battleship finally arrived at Earthly Paradise. A large number of experts walked down and followed Lin Ling into the crowd. At this moment, time seemed to have stopped. The giants of the mortal world looked at Lin Ling. The geniuses and experts of the mortal world looked at Lin Ling. Lin Ling's eyes were extremely calm. Finally, he spat out a few words. Reward based on merit? This voice was full of sarcasm. How dare you, mad god Lin Ling? You colluded with the devil race, and dared to come to the most sacred place in the mortal world. Finally, someone shouted angrily. It was an old man from the ancient Ji family. Colluding with the devil race, and helping the devil race to open the void enchantment in Sky Cloud Forest. Lin Ling, you have committed a heinous crime. If I were you, I would immediately kill myself to atone for my sins. Another voice sounded, Impeaching Lin Ling. Men kill him. Gradually, voices filled with murderous intent rose one after another. Countless voices sounded, but Lin Ling was like an immovable king. He did not speak or refute. Instead, the sarcastic smile on his face deepened. As for those who came with Lin Ling, they all looked at Lin Ling in silence. These people have all committed the crime of colluding with the devil race. However, this is ultimately a side of the story. After all, they also helped the Deacon Palace in the mortal world in the past. Therefore, I think that some things should be investigated first. That's right. Rashly convicting them will chill everyone's hearts. On the side of the 7 emperors, someone spoke up for Lin Ling. Colluding with the devil race, kill without mercy. However, on the side of the Sky Master, an expert immediately retorted. Let's see who dares to kill him. Emperor Yu stood up angrily and looked coldly at the side of the Sky Master. It seemed that if there was a disagreement, a big fight would break out. The crowd looked at the confrontation between the giants of the mortal world and was shocked. They did not expect that today, for Lin Ling alone, the Deacon Palace of the mortal world would be stirred up. Enough! However, at this moment a cold voice finally sounded. The Sky Master stood up and swept his gaze across the crowd. The devil race is invading. The mortal world should be united instead of fighting among ourselves. Otherwise, the devil race will take advantage of us. Therefore, we must put down all our selfishness. For the people, for the pride of the human race, we must fight side by side. His voice was sonorous and powerful, and it was filled with righteousness. Many people fell silent. As for those who colluded with the devil race, they deserve to die. Today they can collude with the devil race, tomorrow, they can betray the entire mortal world. Such scum and vermin should be eradicated. Sky Master, you are right. Scum and vermin should be eradicated. However, how can you be sure that they colluded with the devil race? If I think so, then I naturally have evidence. However, there are too many people who colluded with the devil race, so I will not list them one by one. Let's start with Mad God Lin Ling Yin Yeming, 3rd Dragon Ancestor, come out. The Sky Master said indifferently. This made the people of the 7 emperors heaven frown. Could it be that the Sky Master really had evidence? I am Yin Yeming. I made an agreement with Lin Ling in the Sky Cloud Forest. In order to get the devil race's reward, I helped the devil race open the void barrier. However, I regretted it after that. After all, the mortal world is the place where I was born and raised. Therefore, I will surrender to the Deacon Palace of the mortal world. I am 3rd Dragon Ancestor. I am also one of the people who colluded with the devil race. If the Dark Angel did not interrupt us, I am afraid that we will continue to make mistakes. Chapter 1912. Witness and material evidence, is this true? Lin Ling colluded with the devil race with them? Hearing their words, many people began to discuss. They found it hard to believe. The Purple Alliance can testify to this. Yin Yeming said indifferently. This is indeed the case. Someone helped the devil race and tried to open the void barrier. That person was with Yin Yeming and the others, and the Night Angel defeated them and sealed the void barrier. After a moment of silence, many people in the Purple Alliance also spoke. This matter was obvious to all, so no one could lie. Could it be that Lin Ling really colluded with the devil race? On the side of the 7 emperors, everyone's faces turned ugly. The situation was extremely unfavorable for Lin Ling. As for the people in the Purple Alliance, they all looked at Lin Ling. They were also puzzled. Could it be that Mad God Lin Ling was that ruthless archer? Mad God Lin Ling, what else do you have to say now? Sai, I've already turned over a new leaf. Why are you still so stubborn? Yin Yeming and the 3rd Dragon Ancestor looked at Lin Ling, as if they were Lin Ling's good friends, and advised him. Seeing this, everyone was even more certain. As for Xian Di, who was behind Lin Ling, their faces became even more serious. Because if Lin Ling was convicted, it also meant that none of them were wronged. It's not like that. Mad God Lin Ling did not collude with the devil race. At this time a voice floated out. It was Lu Susu. Hee. I heard that Lu Susu and Lin Ling are very close. Could it be that in order to help Lin Ling, Lu Susu, you are lying through your teeth? The crowd immediately spoke. Lu Susu still wanted to explain, But no one believed her. The night angel sealed the devil race's barrier. His words have the most weight. Why don't we ask him? Someone else said. Countless eyes looked at the demon-masked youth, and the people in the Purple Alliance revealed looks of admiration. Night angel, you have made a great contribution. It's best for you to say it. The Lord of the Sky also stood up and bowed to the Angel of the Night, shocking countless people. As expected of the Sky Lord, he actually put down his pride and bowed to a junior. This is the Sky Lord. He is respected and approachable. I think he can become an existence that surpasses the three great myths. Yes, I think so too. Someone suddenly shouted, causing the entire heavenly earth to cheer. Sky Lord of the Sky Lord, what a good method. The Sky Lords to the 7 gods to hell 9 myths war. This undoubtedly to the Sky Lord God to heaven. This Sky Lord had made a great contribution to the human realm. And this was obviously the Sky Lord's goal. He had long wanted to become an existence that surpassed the 3 great mythological legends, surpassing the 7 emperors. Sky Lord, you are too generous. I am flattered. Under countless gazes, the Angel of the Night said with a smile. The Sky Lord waved his hand and bowed again. At this moment, I am not the Sky Lord, but the representative of all living beings in the world. You sealed the void barrier. So I salute you on behalf of all living beings in the world. No matter who you are, as long as you can help the entire human world. Not only will I salute you, even if you want my life, I will not hesitate. Many people admired the Sky Lord even more after hearing these words. Among everyone, only Lin Ling looked calm. But his eyes were full of sarcasm. He was good at acting, and his acting was very good. Previously, Yin Yeming and the other person said that Mad God Lin Ling colluded with the devil race. Now, I can also prove that Mad God Lin Ling colluded with the devil race. Sky Lord, you will not accuse him unjustly. Those who colluded with the devil race deserve to be punished. The Night Angel finally spoke, and the spearhead was pointed at Lin Ling. As soon as his words fell, the heavenly world was in an uproar. I didn't expect that Lin Ling really colluded with the devil race. To think that I used to admire him. Who would have thought that he would do such a disgraceful thing for his own benefit? In my opinion, those experts who are as ugly as Lin Ling should all be executed. A large number of angry voices floated out. If Yin Yeming's words were still doubtful, then no one doubted the Night Angel's words. Is he going to die? What a pity, after all. He is one of the geniuses of the human realm. He only has himself to blame. On the other side, the son of Huang and the top expert Xian Di said lightly. Except for Emperor Xiaoyao, no one sympathized with Lin Ling. And Emperor Xiaoyao was not sympathizing with Lin Ling. He just felt that his nourishment was about to disappear. What should we do? Should we save him? On the side of the 7 emperors, Emperor Yu's face was extremely solemn. He wanted to save Lin Ling. But he also knew that at this moment, those lords were also staring at this place, so they could not do anything at all. Mad God Lin Ling, don't you have anything to say? Hearing that everyone wanted Lin Ling to die, the Sky Lord finally laughed. The plan this time was perfect. Not only could he kill Lin Ling, but he could also kill a large number of experts who were against him. And Lin Ling was just the fuse. What was surprising was that Lin Ling did not seem to know that he was in danger. Instead, he took out a wine and slowly took a sip. His calm appearance shocked many people. As expected of the Mad God, if he had not committed such a great crime, with such courage, he would have extraordinary achievements in the future. Have you said enough? If you've said enough, then shut up. After drinking a mouthful of the wine, Lin Ling finally raised his head and looked at the crowd fearlessly. It was as if he had drunk a mouthful of magma. The crowd was silent. They never thought that Lin Ling would still be so arrogant when facing death. Even the Dark Angel's eyes flickered. This was the first time he saw Lin Ling, and he did not expect this ant-like person to be so arrogant. Sky Lord, as expected of a big shot in the mortal world, in order to become an expert above the 3 great myths, you have spent a lot of effort. Lin Ling looked at the Sky Lord and said, Fame and fortune are just a pile of dirt. I don't care about it. My heart contains the people of the world. The Sky Lord replied, Very good. I'm very touched. I'll remember what you said before. As long as you can help the entire mortal world, not only will you bow, but you'll even give up your life. Don't be too full of yourself. Be careful that you won't be able to back up your words. Lin Ling sneered. He looked at the night angel and said, "Have you seen me?" The dark angel stared at Lin Ling indifferently and shook his head. "You should be in the sky cloud forest. Unfortunately, there are too many CND there. You are not strong enough, so I have not seen you before." His words were arrogant, and many people nodded in agreement. Lin Ling was in the sky cloud forest, and no one had seen him before. He must be a passerby. He had the nerve to ask the dark angel if he had seen him before. He was simply overestimating himself. Very good. Lin Ling nodded. At this time, a powerful expert shouted angrily, "Are you done with your nonsense? You can die now." Chapter 1913. Translator. Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios, you know me? Let him speak. The Sky Master waved his hand. He wanted everyone to respect him wholeheartedly, so he wasn't in a hurry to kill Lin Ling. Moreover, Lin Ling couldn't cause any big waves. "You said that I colluded with the devil race, and there are witnesses and evidence. However, the Night Angel said that he has never seen me and doesn't know what the so-called evidence is. And Yin Yeming, you said that you formed an alliance with me and reached an agreement with the devil race. But this seems to be your first time seeing me. You don't know anything about me, yet you jump to conclusions. Is this the evidence?" When Lin Ling didn't speak, everyone thought that he had confessed, but once he spoke, his words came out like a cannonball. For a moment, everyone looked at Yin Yeming and Yin Yeming, wanting to see how they would answer because they were witnesses. Yin Yeming and the others didn't expect Lin Ling to refute before he died. They were stunned for a moment, then they laughed loudly. "Lin Ling, are you still trying to shirk the crime? Have you forgotten what you said when you formed an alliance with us? Let me tell you, you'd better confess now. Perhaps on account of you being a genius of the human world, the lords might spare your life. So, you're very familiar with me, and I seem to be a passerby. So, I'm much weaker than you, is that right?" Lin Ling said. Yin Yeming and the others' eyes flickered because it was their first time seeing Lin Ling, and they didn't know Lin Ling at all. They immediately nodded. "So I'm the weakest in our alliance?" Lin Ling took a step forward and asked again. "Nonsense!" Yin Yeming and Yin Yeming shouted at the same time. "Pa!" Lin Ling took a step forward, and the ancient god Empyrean rewarded him. Golden light shone as he punched out with a domineering fist. "Come, let's see how familiar you are with me." Seeing that Lin Ling attacked, Yin Yeming and Yin Yeming's expressions changed drastically, and they exploded with terrifying power of laws to fight against Lin Ling. They didn't know what Lin Ling wanted to do, but Lin Ling's actions were simply courting death. Crazy, Lin Ling may be a genius of the human world, but how can he be a match for the second and third on the Central Earth list? Many people were shocked, and even the Sky Master was puzzled by Lin Ling's actions. Rumble. However, even though Yin Yeming and Yi Shiwen had unleashed their ultimate techniques, the world-dominating fist was like a hot knife through butter. It actually shattered their power of law with one punch, causing the entire heavenly earth to shake. Countless people's expressions changed drastically. And Yin Yeming and Yeming and Yeming's Yeming and were. "You guys are too weak." The ancient god emperor's Yeming. After all, the two of them weren't Lin Ling's match when they were in Sky Cloud Forest, let alone now that Lin Ling's strength had increased greatly. Boom! The golden protective light of the Emperor's Majesty enveloped Lin Ling, and Lin Ling moved to the third dragon ancestor and punched out. Crack! 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 Panic appeared in the third dragon ancestor's eyes as he retreated and shouted, "Lin Ling, how dare you? You've all colluded with the demon race. Today, I'll enforce justice on behalf of the heavens." Boom! Following Lin Ling's angry roar, the third dragon ancestor's body split open, and he exploded. As for the other person, Yin Yeming, his face turned pale. He flew towards the night angel and shouted, "Save me." However, Lin Ling did not chase after him. He stopped in his tracks and stood there like an immovable wisdom king. The mocking smile on the corner of his mouth became even wider. "Lin Ling, how dare you? Not only did you collude with the demon race, But you even dare to kill people in heaven and earth. Someone from the Sky Master's side immediately roared. They should know my strength, since they formed an alliance with me. However, they said that I'm just a passerby. Don't you think they're slapping themselves in the face? There's only one possibility. They don't know me at all. Lin Ling was fearless, and his words caused everyone's hearts to tremble. Yes, today's witnesses were Yin Yiming and Yiming. They had formed an alliance with Lin Ling, but they didn't seem to be familiar with Lin Ling's strength at all. Moreover, everyone realized that Lin Ling defeated 2 of the top 3 existences on the earth roll with one punch. With such terrifying strength, how could he be a nobody in heaven and earth forest? For a moment, heaven and earth was silent. The eyes of the Sky Master and the other experts also flickered. They seemed to have underestimated Lin Ling. Facts have proven that those were all lies. As for you, Night Angel, you said that I colluded with the demon race, so you should be familiar with me. Am I right? Lin Ling looked at the Night Angel, and the Night Angel frowned. It was naturally difficult for him to answer, because this was the first time he met Lin Ling. Therefore, he wasn't familiar with Lin Ling. However, if he said that he wasn't familiar with Lin Ling, how could he prove that Lin Ling colluded with the demon race? What are you trying to say? The Night Angel frowned. As far as I know, the real Night Angel is the strongest expert in heaven and earth forest. Since you said that you're the Night Angel, you should be very strong. Lin Ling looked at the Night Angel and said, That's right. The Night Angel is the strongest expert in the Purple Alliance. This is obvious to everyone. There were many voices from the Purple Alliance. For them, the Night Angel was the strongest expert that they worshipped the most. Of course, if I can become the Night Angel, my strength must be the strongest. I'm the first on the Earth ranking. I can even fight with experts on the Earth ranking. Hearing the voices around him, the Night Angel immediately said, At this moment, he naturally couldn't be weak. You're indeed the Night Angel, the real flag of the Purple Alliance. Many people said. They worshipped the Night Angel even more. The Night Angel's eyes were filled with confidence. It seemed that there were more and more people who believed in him. Very powerful. I also admire the Night Angel. Even Lin Ling clapped his hands. The Night Angel was stunned for a moment. He said indifferently, Are you admitting your guilt? Of course not. However, I suspect that you're not the real Night Angel. Lin Ling said. Everyone was shocked. The Night Angel was a fake? But didn't he already get the recognition of the Sky Master? How could he be a fake? Everyone immediately looked at the Night Angel. They wanted to see the Night Angel's angry face, because Lin Ling actually doubted him. However, under everyone's gaze, the Night Angel was stunned for a moment. Instead of being angry, he looked up to the sky and laughed. Haha, in order to get rid of your crime, Lin Ling, you're going against your conscience. His voice also floated out, causing many people's eyes to flicker. However, at this moment, Lin Ling also looked up to the sky and laughed out loud. Alright, since you are ranked first on the Central Earth leaderboard, then I would like to see how powerful the so-called Dark Angel is. However, let me warn you in advance. If you, the Dark Angel, are inferior to a passerby like me, then you have no right to be the Dark Angel. Boom! As soon as Lin Ling's words fell, everyone's hearts exploded. Chapter 1914. Dark Angel, please use your full strength. If you're not as good as me, then it means that what you said before was nonsense. So, do you dare to fight? Lin Ling spat out another sentence, causing the crowd's eyes to tremble violently. Even the 7 emperors were not sure if Lin Ling could win. Only Lu Susu, the Crystal 7 Talents, and a few others were able to affirm Lin Ling's words. They laughed. No wonder Lin Ling didn't refute them earlier. It turned out that Lin Ling's intention was very simple. Fight, fight, fight. Dark Angel, defeat him. Mad God Lin Ling, boasting shamelessly. No one thought that Lin Ling could win. Many even thought that Lin Ling couldn't block a single attack. After all, the strength of the Dark Angel was obvious to everyone. End it. The Sky Lord nodded. He naturally didn't think that Lin Ling was a match for the son of the Divine Marquis Mansion. In his opinion, Lin Ling's actions were simply courting death. Alright, since you want to fight, I'll accompany you. The son of the divine Marquis Mansion nodded. He didn't put Lin Ling in his eyes because if anyone could defeat him, then he wouldn't be qualified to be called a godly archer. It could be said that in the Sky Cloud Forest, the only thing he was afraid of was the true Dark Angel. Do you need me to give you a handicap? The son of the divine Marquis Mansion walked forward with his hands behind his back and said indifferently, "There's no need for that. You're so thick-skinned. If you let me make a move, who knows what excuses you'll come up with next. Besides, with your strength, you don't have the qualifications to let me make a move." Lin Ling also slowly walked forward. His long black robe fluttered in the wind, and he looked indescribably spirited. "All right." The son of the divine Marquis Mansion nodded, and didn't intend to give him a handicap. "Let me show you my talent." Swallow the heavens. With a roar, endless black light shot out like arrows. This was his innate skill, divine overlord swallowing the heavens. Combined with the 32 king's arts, it could greatly increase the power of the laws. He pointed his finger, and the black light shot out like an arrow. Obviously, he didn't dare to use his bow here, but he could use his finger as an arrow. And this finger arrow had over 200 nomological laws. It was extremely powerful. As a result, he turned around and left. When the crowd saw how carefree he was, their hearts jumped. As expected of the Night Angel, he was still so powerful and confident. Rumble! The terrifying finger arrow shot towards Lin Ling, and even Wu Sheng, who was in the 6th degree realm, couldn't block it. In an instant, it engulfed Lin Ling, and formed a black light screen, which changed the color of the sky. Following that, the ground split open, and the heavenly earth and sky island seemed to have collapsed. Is he dead? Many people stared at the black light barrier with solemn expressions. They could see that the surface of the black light barrier had laws shooting out like tens of thousands of arrows. It was extremely shocking. Boom. However, at this moment, there was a roar and a sword light slashed out, as if it could cut through the sky. World annihilation. Following that dazzling sword light, the black light barrier instantly shattered and melted like tofu. At the same time, a golden-haired, golden-eyed man holding an ancient sword walked out step by step. His imposing manner made many people in the Purple Alliance gasp. So familiar, so familiar. As for the son of the divine overlord Manor, he stopped in his tracks and his eyes widened. You can't compare to me in terms of playing. At this moment, Lin Ling held the peerless divine sword and stared at the son of the divine overlord Manor with a mocking gaze. You can't compare to me in terms of playing. Crazy. This sentence echoed in everyone's ears. Arrogant, extremely arrogant. It's almost 200 nomological laws, and his talent is 2nd grade divine rank. The giants of the human realm gasped. When did Lin Ling's laws become so strong? As for the son of the divine overlord Manor, his expression was solemn. There was actually someone in the Central Earth ranking who could break his attack? You better use your arrow, don't put on an act. Otherwise, you can only be tortured by me. Lin Ling stepped forward. His imposing manner was not only filled with mockery, but also contempt. Of course, it was not because he was arrogant, but because he had already fought the son of the divine overlord Manor. Now that his fiend god overlord body had reached the peak, it could be said that his physical body was invincible, so it was not difficult to kill the son of the divine overlord Manor. Moreover, the title of Angel of the Night was not something that anyone could achieve. I admit that I have underestimated you, the son of the divine overlord Manor said, but his eyes flickered. As an archer, he had to be careful. He was extremely arrogant before because he thought that Lin Ling was not his opponent, but now, he had to face the guy in front of him. Of course, what surprised him the most was that the guy in front of him gave him a very familiar feeling. Even if you think highly of me, you are still not my opponent. Take my sword, world-destroying flames. Lin Ling sneered. The sword in his hand spat out flames, as if a dragon was roaring. After reaching the 5th degree of Wu Sheng, the power of his fire law had increased greatly. You are qualified to be called the Angel of the Night when you are below my 2 2nd grade divine rank talents. The sword passed through. The space law exploded. The fire law was dazzling. The two combined to destroy the world with flames. What? The son of the divine overlord Manor was shocked, because he had seen this sword before. It was from the real angel of the night. It's him. In the distance, Yin Yeming's face was pale. That terrifying sword almost took his life not long ago in the Sky Cloud Forest. He never thought that the Overlord youth was actually the angel of the night. Boom! His heart roared. The son of the divine Overlord Manor's heart exploded. They felt as if they were in a dream, because the person they had casually bullied was actually the angel of the night that caused them to be in a nightmare. 10,000 arrows, 32 king arts. The son of the divine Overlord Manor no longer dared to underestimate Lin Ling, because in the Earth Board, he was most afraid of Lin Ling. Rumble! The sword passed through, burning and cutting everything. The 10,000 arrows of the son of the divine Overlord Manor gathered the power of the 32 earthly kings. The law was extremely terrifying, but it barely blocked Lin Ling's sword. Even if it blocked it, the bones in his body were still cracking as they were injured by the sword's sealing aura. Go to hell. He continued to shoot arrows. Each arrow was fatal. This is the angel of the night. However, his attack was undoubtedly extremely weak in front of Lin Ling. Lin Ling held his sword and moved forward. He swung his sword casually and cut down the black arrows of laws. He didn't even bother to block some of the arrows and allowed them to shoot towards him. However, they were blocked by the Emperor's protective aura. Just like that, Lin Ling walked forward step by step. Abuse. This was pure, unadulterated abuse. Armageddon. Lin Ling occasionally slashed out a sword, but the son of the divine Overlord Manor could only block it pathetically. It was extremely embarrassing. You're really the angel of the night? Why are you so weak? Aren't you number 1 on the Earth Board? And I'm just a passerby. How can a passerby beat you? Angel of the night, please use your full strength. Chapter 1915. I am the Night Angel. How could this be? The crowd stared at the scene with their mouths wide open, especially the members of the Purple Alliance. Their faces were ashen because the Night Angel was like a god of war in their hearts. But now, this god of war was being abused by someone else? He's definitely not the Night Angel. Finally, someone said, "That's right, the Night Angel is invincible. How could he be such a disgrace?" More and more people voiced out. They were all fooled by the Sky Lord. As for the Sky Lord, his face was frozen. Previously, he promised Lin Ling to kill the son of the war god Ho Mansion because he thought that Lin Ling would die without a doubt. After all, no matter how talented Lin Ling was, it was impossible for him to reach the top of the Earth ranking. But now, he realized that Lin Ling's growth was beyond his imagination. Sky Lord, Ancient Ji Family Xianyuan Clan, this is the Night Angel that you found? Come on, if you want to find someone, at least find someone decent. I won't even bother to kill such trash. Genesis. Following Lin Ling's domineering voice, a sword with more than 200 precept energy slashed out. Rumble. This sword was Genesis, telling the son of the divine Ho Mansion that in Lin Ling's world, he was the king. He was the Night Angel. Pfft. The son of the divine Ho Mansion spat out a mouthful of blood. His arm was chopped off. But at the critical moment, a white king's chi soared into the sky, forming a white emperor storm that blocked the sword. This person was the son of the divine Ho Mansion. However, although the son of the divine Ho Mansion didn't die, it was obvious that he was no longer qualified to be the Night Angel. If you can't even beat me, how can you be the Night Angel? How can you accuse me of colluding with the demon race? Lin Ling said softly under everyone's gaze. But at this moment no one refuted him. He used his sword and his domineering aura to prove everything. His potential is so strong. With 2 divine-level talents, this mad god Lin Ling didn't fall. He's rising rapidly. I really don't know how he cultivated. In such a short period of time, he's already dominating the Earth ranking. Looks like we have to be careful. From afar, those peak-stage immortal emperors all had heavy expressions on their faces. Among them, there were a few who were part of the top 10 immortal emperors. But now, they didn't dare to underestimate Lin Ling, because Lin Ling's potential was too terrifying. At the same time, in the distance, an old man and a middle-aged man smiled faintly as they looked ahead. That's right, the invasion of the demon race, and the great calamity of the mortal world. Many geniuses have grown up. Indeed, Today, not only did the 10 heroes of the immortal Emperor realm emerge, a terrifying genius also emerged. It's a pity. That little guy came to the Merit Hall not long ago, in exchange for some useless treasures. After this is over, I'll have to remind him, especially the third revolution elixir. He can't take it, or he'll fall from heaven to hell. The two of them looked at the scene, as if they were behind the scene. They were the strongest experts of the mortal world. Great. I didn't expect you to lie to us, almost causing us to slander so many people. You deserve to die. In the silence, a furious roar suddenly rang out. The Sky Lord stood up and waved his right hand, as if he controlled the power of the entire sky, sweeping towards Yin Yeming. That power was so terrifying that everyone present was shocked. Sky Lord, what are you doing? The 7 emperors shouted angrily, but it was too late. Under that terrifying power, Yin Yeming was annihilated and disappeared. This person lied to us, almost causing us to commit a big mistake. So how can we appease our anger if we don't kill him? The Sky Lord said righteously. At the same time, the Divine Marquis not far away also shouted coldly and slapped out fiercely, causing the wind and clouds to change color. The son of the Divine Marquis let out a cry of pain and was slapped to death. You lied to the mortal world, you deserve to die. After that, the Divine Marquis said indifferently. The crowd fell silent. How ruthless, they were supporting the other party just a moment ago. But in the blink of an eye, they killed him. The Sky Lord looked at Lin Ling, then looked at the CND who were wronged and said, You've all been wronged, but I'll uphold justice for you. Upon hearing this, those immortal emperors all heaved a sigh of relief. They were truly wronged to the point where they had to fight back. Lin Ling's eyes were cold. As expected of an ambitious person, seeing that things had failed, he immediately put justice before family to protect his reputation. Lin Ling, you won't blame me, right? Sensing Lin Ling's gaze, the Sky Lord immediately said and explained himself. We were all deceived by them, so we treated you like this. If we offended you in any way, please forgive us. Of course, what I did was for the entire mortal world. That's right, we did it for the mortal world. We don't want a traitor to appear in the mortal world. The other giants of the mortal world also agreed, causing the crowd to fall silent. The Sky Lord and the others killed so quickly that no one could refute them. However, at this moment Lin Ling, who had been silent, finally spoke. I remember that you said before that as long as you help the mortal world, you'll have to pay your respects. Even if I ask for your life, you won't hesitate. Am I right? Of course, we were deceived by the son of the Divine Marquis, but I still put down my pride and paid my respects to him. So as long as it's helpful to the mortal world, a mere reputation is nothing. The Sky Lord nodded. That's good. Now, I want you to pay your respects to me. Lin Ling looked at the Sky Lord and said coldly. The other party's plan had failed, and he wanted to escape unscathed. How could Lin Ling let him do as he wished? Everyone was stunned. What did Lin Ling mean? He wanted the Sky Lord to pay his respects to him? What do you mean? The Sky Lord frowned. Because I'm the real Night Angel. Lin Ling looked around and said calmly. The entire heavenly earth fell silent. Countless eyes stared at Lin Ling, wanting to know if Lin Ling was joking. However, they were obviously disappointed. However, many people suddenly thought that since Lin Ling could defeat the son of the Divine Marquis, he could naturally be the Night Angel. At this thought, everyone in the Purple Alliance became excited. Was Lin Ling the mad god, the cold-faced youth? They had always been curious about the identity of the Night Angel. Had it finally surfaced? You're the Night Angel? The Sky Lord's eyes narrowed. However, he soon realized that Lin Ling was trying to humiliate him by calling himself the Night Angel. That's right, that must be it. The Night Angel is the #1 on the Middle Earth list. Moreover, you can defeat all the experts on the Middle Earth list. If you're the Night Angel, then you should be invincible in this realm. Therefore, if you want to become the Night Angel, you need to fight 3 rounds. If you win, I'll pay my respects to you. Chapter 1916. Fighting the 3. Moreover, the Sky Master hated Lin Ling to the bone, because Lin Ling had single-handedly disrupted his entire plan. In fact, if he had not acted decisively and killed Yin Yeming, he would not have had a good ending. Even so, the reputation he had painstakingly built up was now wavering. Of course, the reason was that he had underestimated Lin Ling. He thought that Lin Ling was an ant-like existence in the sky cloud forest. Who would have thought that Lin Ling's strength would increase so quickly? The Dark Angel is the flag of the Purple Alliance. He controls many CND on the Earth ranking. He's also the key figure in the seal. Therefore, his identity can't be impersonated. At this time, a cold voice drifted out. Many people looked over and found that the speaker was the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother. Her words were obviously directed at Lin Ling. Hearing this, many people echoed. Although Lin Ling's strength was not bad, it didn't mean that he was the Dark Angel. Of course, many people in the Purple Alliance supported Lin Ling because they felt that Lin Ling was very similar to the Dark Angel in their impression. Yeah, the Dark Angel sealed the Devil Race's seal. He can't be impersonated. But someone did impersonate him before. Why didn't you say anything at that time? Lin Ling smiled and said sarcastically. His words made the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother's expression turn ugly. Hee hee. If the mad god Lin Ling is the Dark Angel, the Sky Lord will lose face. Because he casually found someone to impersonate Lin Ling and slandered the real Dark Angel for colluding with the Devil Race. Such a person has the nerve to say that he's doing it for the common people. Emperor, you said with a smile. Many people realized that this was indeed sarcastic. But now Lin Ling isn't the Dark Angel. It can only be said that we misunderstood him. Therefore, the Sky Lord should apologize. After all, he's doing it for the common people. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother said expressionlessly. Her graceful face was now filled with coldness and arrogance. For the common people? Lin Ling's eyes turned cold. What a disgusting person. That's right, I'm doing it for the common people. Therefore, if you want to prove that you're the Dark Angel, then do you dare to fight? The Sky Lord also shouted coldly. At this moment, there was no way out for him. Fight. Prove that you are a Dark Knight Angel. Moreover, if you can sweep through the Central Earth Proclamation, you will be a genius comparable to Huang's child. The human realm's highest enforcer palace will definitely value you even more. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother, Jade Lake Heavenly Mother. Countless eyes looked at Lin Ling, wanting to know if he would choose to fight or not. The 7 emperors and the others frowned. They couldn't understand why the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother and the Sky Lord were forcing Lin Ling to fight. Was there something fishy? After all, Lin Ling was able to defeat the son of the Divine Marquis Mansion. His strength had already been acknowledged. Fine, then I choose to fight. Under countless gazes, Lin Ling finally nodded. Boom. Many people clenched their fists. Lin Ling, the mad god, had decided to fight. He wanted to challenge 3 experts of the Middle Earth list to prove that he was the Dark Angel. Lin Ling hadn't displayed his full strength before. Therefore, everyone wanted to see if the most dazzling genius of the mortal world could shock the mortal world again. I'm not that talented. Let me fight this battle. A burly old man walked out. He was Wuxia's stage 6. Presumably, his ranking on the Middle Earth list wasn't low. Then 2 more people walked out. One was a cold middle-aged man, and the other was an ordinary-looking woman. They seemed to be from the ancient Ji family and Xinyuan family. But what surprised people was that no one had seen these 3 people before. However, Lin Ling soon realized that after the 3 laws surged into him, the void energy source in his dantian spun even faster, as if it had joined a new force during the 3rd transition. How dare you? At this moment, the people on the 7 emperors' side reacted. They all roared furiously and attacked at the same time. However, just as they were about to attack, a cold voice suddenly sounded. Leave them to me. Boom. As soon as this voice sounded, everyone's hearts exploded. They looked around and saw that the light pillar of laws began to dim, and a slender figure slowly walked out. It was Lin Ling. Thank you for your strength. Otherwise, I would have needed a lot more time to complete the 3rd transition. The cold voice floated out at the same time, causing many people to tremble in fear. In their eyes, a large amount of laws floated around Lin Ling, and the void energy source was extremely huge. This meant that Lin Ling had successfully completed the 3rd transition. Seeing this, everyone was shocked. Previously, when you fought with me, you all broke through at the critical moment. However, every dog has its day. Now it's my turn to break through. Lin Ling looked at the three people. With just a glance, their faces turned pale. Although Lin Ling had only glanced at them, they felt as if they were being stared at by a big shot of the human world. Plop! The old man among them was so frightened that he fell to the ground directly. The Lin Ling from before was already very scary. What about the Lin Ling after the third transition? His strength was definitely unimaginable. At the same time, the Sky Lord's face also turned pale. Lin Ling had finally succeeded. He knew that trouble had come for him. Smack! Lin Ling took a step forward and walked toward the three people. His long hair and black robe danced wildly. At this moment, it was as if he had been reborn. He was full of energy, as if he was an undefeatable god of war. The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. Have you been arrogant enough? Now, do you dare to fight? A thunderous voice came from Lin Ling's mouth. It shocked the old man so much that he spat out blood and immediately lost the ability to fight. A third transition martial artist is indeed very strong. Naturally, they could see that the jade token was from the highest deacon palace in the mortal world. However, the young man in front of them wasn't strong enough. He didn't even have a source of power. How could he be qualified to enter the Dharma River? I'm sorry. Those who come to the Dharma River must be at least in the 5th stage of Wuxia. Because they don't have a source of power, they will definitely die if they enter the Dharma River. So you'd better leave. One of the guards said lightly. Lin Ling's pupils constricted. There was such a rule. Before he could speak, another guard said, "Young man, it's better that you know your place. We're thinking for you." Hearing this, Lin Ling's heart was filled with impatience. He had seen through the 4 great eras. The free and unfettered qi was even stronger. It was as if he was the incarnation of Li Xiaorao. So someone stopped him, which made him unhappy. However, he still endured it. You don't have to worry about this. You'd better do things according to the rules. Lin Ling said lightly. If I ask you to leave, then leave. Why are you talking so much nonsense? You should know where this place is, and where this big city is. It's not a place where ordinary people can come. The few guards had been guarding the Dharma River for many years. They were already used to being arrogant. How could they put Lin Ling in their eyes? Hearing this, Lin Ling's pupils immediately turned cold. Hehe, you guys stopped him. Do you know who he is? At this time, a smiling voice floated over. From afar, a woman in purple walked over with a smile. Her skin was as white as snow and she was tall. Her purple dress made her look even more noble. Looking at her, she didn't seem to be a martial artist from the 3 profound realms. Instead, she looked more like a martial artist from the Saint's big territory. It's Miss Yuanzi. To everyone's surprise, those guards recognized the woman, but didn't recognize Lin Ling. There's no need to be so courteous. Since you don't know who he is, then let me remind you. Lu Susu and the others burst into laughter. We don't have that many merit points right now. We'll owe you. At this time, the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother suddenly said, "Oh." The people of the 7 Emperors world were smiling. They couldn't pay her back. "Old witch, you're going back on your word," shouted Emperor Yu furiously. If they had lost, the other side wouldn't have accepted the debt. Emperor Yu, don't go too far. Did I say I wouldn't give you anything? I don't have that many merit points right now, said the Jade Lake's mother, smiling coldly. Besides, it's not like I won't give you the debt. I'm going too far? Said Emperor Yu, pointing at the Jade Lake's mother. He was even more furious. They had lost. They had taken back what belonged to them. And now they were being called going too far. That's right. We'll pay you back sooner or later. I promise you, I'll pay you back within 100 years, said the other strong cultivators. They looked indifferent. Emperor Yu frowned. He couldn't refute them. Besides, more and more people were talking. Everybody was following the Jade Lake's mother. In any case, the 7 emperors couldn't attack them. Besides, they couldn't stop so many people. The Jade Lake's mother smiled even more coldly. She looked at the 7 emperors as if they were idiots. Then, she flicked her sleeves and left. The people on the side of the 7 emperors were all trembling with anger. They wanted to stop them. But even if they could stop the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother, they couldn't stop the other experts. You're acting like hooligans, roared the Law Overlord, his fat jiggling. However, nobody paid attention to him. Everybody was preparing to leave. Who dares to leave? However, at that moment, a cold shout rang out. A slender figure stood on the top of the mountain, staring coldly at the ground. His eyes were filled with rage. It was Lin Ling. Can you stop me if I want to leave? Said the Jade Lake's mother disdainfully. She was the first to leave. She wanted to tell Lin Ling that she wanted to leave. What could he do about it? Because based on the current situation, not to mention Lin Ling, even the 7 emperors were unable to stop them. You dare to leave if I don't let you? Celestial Shrimp, stop her. Chapter 1944. They were all cannon fodder. Good Shanggongyu, you're back. Qinhu, are you okay too? Many people laughed. Fortunately, these experts with boundless potential did not die. However, they also saw that several of the CND-10 heroes were seriously injured. Lin Ling? Where's Lin Ling? Yes. At this time, Emperor Li Shou's gaze swept around, looking for Lin Ling among the crowd. As soon as his words fell, many people did the same. Lin Ling had displayed even more terrifying talent in the River of Law. He couldn't have died, right? Hehe. I think this time the demons killed their way here. Because of Lin Ling is their target. So Lin Ling should be dead. Yes. Someone from the ancient immortal platform gloated. Hehe, that's possible. The expert from the ancient Ji family also laughed. The eyes of Son of Huang and the others lit up, and the corners of their mouths curled into a smile. Especially Tianzong Divine Marshal, Mortal Descent, and the others. They were even happier than when they broke through. Cough cough. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother spat out a mouthful of blood. She was injured by the River of Law, so when the demons came, she was seriously injured again. But now, she felt that her injuries were healed because Lin Ling had died. How lively. Yes. But at this time, from the ground, a slender figure slowly walked over. With an ancient sword on his back, his long hair fluttered in the wind, and a wine pot in one hand, his face carefree. Who else could it be but Lin Ling? Seeing this, everyone's eyes widened. Lin Ling was still alive. Son of Huang, and the others were disgusted as if they had eaten a fly. Seeing Lin Ling's carefree appearance, they felt as if they were being mocked. Most importantly, the others were escaping in panic. But Lin Ling was drinking. Was he taking a walk? Why aren't you dead? Yes. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother was angrier than anyone else. She pointed at Lin Ling. Hehe, someone helped me. Yes. Lin Ling smiled and replied indifferently. His words surprised countless people. During the previous explosion, everyone could barely take care of themselves. Who would help Lin Ling? It was Prince Xiaoyao. He lured away a large number of demons for me. I have to thank him. Lin Ling laughed again, causing many people to grind their teeth. They didn't know why, but when they saw Lin Ling's naive and innocent appearance, their hearts burned with lust. As for the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother, she glared at Lin Ling. She felt a sweetness in her throat as the injuries she had suppressed just now seemed to erupt. However, she forcefully swallowed the blood because she didn't want to lose face in front of Lin Ling. I'm guessing that the devil race's goal is me, because my talent is too strong, and my current strength is not strong. They will definitely kill me quickly. I've implicated everyone. Lin Ling suddenly blurted out. Silence. Everyone was silent. The evil fire that had been suppressed in his heart was about to explode at this moment. Lin Ling, you also know that the devil race is here to kill you? We were all cannon fodder for you, and we all escaped with serious injuries. But you had a satisfied look on your face. And you were even drinking. Forget about that. You still have the nerve to mention it? Pooh. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother could no longer suppress her injuries. She spat out a mouthful of blood and felt dizzy. Heavenly Mother, you have to take care of your body. Lin Ling expressed his concern at the right time. Pooh. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother spat out another mouthful of blood. Finally, she couldn't bear it anymore and fainted. Several of the Sons of Desolation were also seriously injured. At this moment, they also had the urge to vomit blood. Lin Ling. At this time, a figure came from afar. It was Prince Xiaoyao. At this moment, he was in an extremely sorry state. He didn't have the slightest bit of elegance. Kid, listen up. I'm the son of the Leilu Adventurer Team's leader, young Master Lei Feng. Who in the surrounding area doesn't know me? Our entire Leilu Adventurer team was conquered by me. A single word from me can shake the surrounding area for 3 days. Alright kid, you can die now. The young man said proudly. So it's young Master Lei Feng of the Leilu Adventurer Team. I've heard a lot about you. However, compared to the young masters of the other 2 adventurer teams, I wonder how strong young Master Lei Feng is? Lin Ling hurriedly asked. I can tell you that I'm the #1 genius of the top 3 adventurer teams. I'll be leading this area in the future. The young man said angrily. Lin Ling seemed to be doubting him. He wanted Lin Ling to know who killed him before he died. Lin Ling couldn't help but be speechless. It seemed like the fact that this idiot could live until now had something to do with his dad's strength. He nodded and said, I see. No wonder I heard of your name in the distant mortal world. Really? The young man was overjoyed. His name had spread to the mortal world? Of course it's true. There's a rumor in the mortal world that there's an ugly man with a big nose and acne in the nation of God. He doesn't have any abilities at all. The only thing he's good at is licking his ass. He licked the old men of the ancient Ji family from the desolation city to the forest. Lin Ling muttered to himself. The young man was stunned. He turned to look at the old men of the Ji family and felt like vomiting. The old men were the same. Especially when they saw the young man's big nose. They felt even more disgusted. Those old men like to lick your ass too, right? Or maybe they like to lick your big nose even more. Lin Ling's voice sounded again, this time with a hint of mockery. The old men of the Ji family were even more stunned. They stared at the young man's big nose. After seeing the thick nose hair, their bodies suddenly trembled. Then, they all looked at Lin Ling in anger at the same time. At first, Lin Ling was flattering them, but then Lin Ling was mocking them. One was licking his ass, and the other was licking his big nose. Who could hold back?